All right, guys, what's going on? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And not too long ago, over here on the YouTube channel in the community tab, I had put up a little poll that basically asked you guys, well, it was a comment, it was a statement, and I basically asked if you agreed or disagreed. And as of right now, there's 115 votes, and the comment was made as follows: XDefiant may die after Black Ops 6 releases. And the two options were agree or disagree. And as of right now, as of the time of this recording, 38% of people agree and 62% disagree. And there are a total of 115 votes. And earlier, a few hours ago, when I checked on it, it was damn near 50-50. So now I know we are all XDefiant fans here. We all love the game for the reasons that we do, and that's great. We're supporting the game as much as we can. We're communicating. Some of us are making YouTube videos. Some of us are active on social media or in the comment section or whatnot. Shout out to you guys, by the way. I appreciate the comments and I appreciate the tremendous amount of support. It really is amazing that this game literally doubled the size of my channel in literally about a year's time. And it's all thanks to you guys and to XDefiant. Those are the things that I give credit to. I'm only 1/3 of the success of this channel. You guys and XDefiant make up for the remaining 66%. Now, with that being said, let's get back on topic here. So you cannot deny whether you are a COD refugee or whether you're a current Call of Duty fan or a former Call of Duty fan, whether you're a Call of Duty shill or a XDefiant shill, whatever you are and identify as far as this video game thing is concerned, you cannot deny that there's a storm coming in 4 months and 1 week from now. And that storm just happens to be Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And as a matter of fact, there's going to be a new storm every single year that XDefiant is going to have to endure, granted it survives. Because as you know, there's obviously no guarantees, right? We're optimistic. We love the game. We love what the devs are doing. It's something we asked for years, and we will literally do everything that we possibly can to make sure that the game stays alive. However, there really hasn't been anything that can stop Black Ops 6 or Call of Duty for that matter, right? The only thing that can, and that's temporarily at best, is Grand Theft Auto, and that game comes out anytime from 5 to 10 years. Okay, so that isn't gonna. And it's a different type of game. It just happens to be a celebration in gaming. That's what it is at this point. But XDefiant is not that. XDefiant is a marathon runner, and Call of Duty is a sprinter, right? Call of Duty sprints for about a year, or tries to sprint for about a year and be as relevant as it can be. And XDefiant is that marathon runner that wants to continue to get better and to have endurance and legs to go for the long run, right? So obviously that's up to the community, but obviously that's also up to the devs and the publisher and all that kind of stuff. And there are three main things right now that XDefiant has going for it that may be enough or not enough to keep the game alive. And those three things are the fact that there's no SBMM/EOMM, right? There's the transparency of the devs and the way they're working and the way they address us and the way they get stuff done in comparison to other developers out there. That puts other developers out there to shame, in my opinion, in terms of like literally communicating with your players and your audience and your fans or whatnot, and having like that transparency level. These guys are on another level as far as the XDefiant team is concerned. And of course, let's see, what did I say? I said no SBM. Yep. And the third one is that it's free to play. Those three things right there are absolutely huge. And of course, over the course of time right now, the way I look at it is the best way that XDefiant right now can brace for impact. This is not one of those situations to where XDefiant can simply evacuate. This is one of those things to where it is where it is and it needs to stand its ground. And whether or not it falls, only time will tell. But XDefiant, in my opinion, the best way it can brace for impact is by continuing to do what it's doing and to release as much content and features and quality of life improvements over the next 4 months as it possibly can. And I think by the time the 4 months are over, XDefiant would have been out for 1 month. We're going to be on our way to season 3. We will be in season 2 at that time, and there's going to be additional maps and weapons and game modes, and hopefully the desync feature will be in there much better. Hopefully there's going to be kill cams, prestige, and all that other stuff. So All of these things in terms of where XDefiant was when it releases up until the time that when Black Ops 6 releases, and when you see what XDefiant ends up providing in all these different things, as well as the transparency and stuff like that, hopefully, and this is a big hopefully, I hope that it leaves a lasting impression. And the reason why I say hopefully instead of guaranteed, right, is because it's only guaranteed with us. You, me, you, listening to this video right now. Yes, you, sir or ma'am, even though 99.9% of you are male. But we are in the minority, unfortunately. You know, people that are listening to YouTube videos on a regular basis about the game or multiple channels, watching streams, talking about it on social media, having conversations with the devs over on Twitter or X or whatever, getting on that Discord, all that stuff. We are in the minority. The casuals still outnumber us. They still outnumber us. And as of right now, in terms of where we are in time, they always will. I mean, I can't predict the future. Obviously, things have been more competitive over time. I think when you look at XDefiant, in terms of just everything, I think it's safe to say that your average player, I personally think what I mentioned in a previous video that I made months ago was correct. Your average player today is just better than what they were in the past because of how gaming has evolved. But gaming hasn't evolved to the where the competitive side overtakes the casual side. That has not happened yet. Whether it will or not, I don't know. I don't think so, but I do think that there's still going to be growth. I think there's a lot more growth to go as far as the competitive scene is concerned, even though it's grown a lot. But anyway, back on topic here. So as long as we remain the minority, it is going to be something that we are always going to be at a disadvantage of. And all we can do from a content creation standpoint or a social media standpoint or whatever, right? If you support the game, the only thing you can do is basically keep doing what you're doing. Keep playing the game, keep talking about the game, keep communicating with the devs and stuff like that. Mention a few things on social media or whatnot. I mean, that's all you can pretty much do. You know, obviously you can talk to your friends about it and all that kind of stuff. And like I mentioned in my previous video, you talk to anybody, any casual or even regular above average casual player, right? Most people, like everybody knows what Call of Duty is, but not everybody's going to know what XDefiant is. I remember I talked to a teen like earlier, like what was it, a week or so ago? I'd mentioned an XDefiant. They never ever heard of it. They said, "What's that?" But they know Call of Duty very well. They're big fans of Call of Duty, but they have no idea about XDefiant. And these are people that have cell phones, right? These are teens. You know, they're looking at their cell phones quite a bit and all that stuff. And yet this person didn't know what XDefiant was. You see what I'm getting at here? Call of Duty is so far ahead in so many different ways that whether we like it or not as XDefiant fans, right? It's gonna have some sort of impact. But the only question is, what kind of an impact is it gonna have? Is it gonna have an impact to where there's gonna be a good percentage of players that kind of go back and forth? Are people going to completely abandon XDefiant and go for Call of Duty again and all that kind of stuff? Because remember, guys, here's another big thing that I want to talk about before we get towards the end of this commentary. And that is that the whole, even though you know it may be bad, or even though you know you might get shafted later on, resisting Call of Duty is extremely difficult to where it's literally very, very hard to stop, as if it was literally a drug or a substance, right? Very hard to stop. Think about how hard it is to quit sugar, or how hard it is to quit caffeine, or how hard it is to quit something worse, right? Look at people that have struggled to quit things like, like smoking cigarettes, so to speak, right? I'll keep it simple. I won't go hardcore into the hardcore stuff, but smoking cigarettes, for instance, very, very difficult to do. Okay. And the longer you do it, the harder it is to quit. I know this because I talked to so many people about it, and they all say the same thing. Call of Duty is very similar to that. I'm pretty sure there's even been studies done up on it or whatnot. And that thrill of the new Call of Duty, the thrill of a midnight release, the thrill of it being a Treyarch game, all that kind of stuff, or the thrill of, getting to play that game that you've been waiting for a year or whatnot. It's basically like a yearly tradition at this point. And I mean, hell, I remember even back in the day when I went to midnight releases for games back before everything became super duper digital now. I remember that it was very enjoyable. I mean, I knew I had to go to the place, wait in line and all that kind of stuff, but it was an event. It was part of the experience for me. It was something that I even scheduled to have a day off for, just so I can attend, so to speak, right? Or should I say, have a day off for the next day, so I don't have to worry about waking up early or being up all night playing the game and stuff like that. We celebrate that. It's hard to say no to that. It's hard to walk away from that. I get it. Like, there's people out there, if you even that said it in the comments, in my comment section or something like that, or something that they're alluding to, is that like they know that like it's not good, but they're going to play it anyway, or they're going to play it for different reasons. And remember, Call of Duty doesn't just have multiplayer, but it's also got campaign. It's also got zombies. It's also got Warzone. So there are a ton of things that that game has to offer, despite the fact that there's an algorithm that, does what it does, so to speak, right? And most people are in so far deep. A lot of people don't even know about it. Most people that talk about the algorithm, like us, we're in the minority. Nobody knows. I mean, it trends, right? But think about it. Who's looking at EOMM or SBMM when it comes to games and stuff like that these days, as far as casuals are concerned? If the casuals knew it like we knew it, okay, then you would say, hey, there's been an impact made. As a matter of fact, who knows? They might have even changed that, so to speak. But they keep making their money every year. They keep selling, their microtransactions very well every single year. People still buy. It's still the number one most played and bought game year after year, except for when Grand Theft Auto comes out. So you put all these things together, it's an unstoppable force that is also established, and that also happens to have a big company and money behind it. Seriously. So what I'm trying to say is that XDefiant, whether you like to admit it or not, and I'm a supporter of the game, okay? Look at my last video and you guys will see how much time I put into the game. And it's because I absolutely love it. And it's only going to continue to get better. But again, better is subjective, depending on who you are and what you like and what you don't like, as well as the fact that, whether or not things are quote unquote better financially. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, whether a game lives or dies depends on the financial side of things, right? As well as the player count, which also kind of plays a role in the financial side of things. So whether you like it or not, it's going to be the same song and dance as usual. So far, tit for tat, it's been the same song and dance ever since the very beginning of the reveal of Black Ops 6, so to speak, right? Which didn't happen too long ago. Look at all the things on social media. They're saying the same thing that they do every year. We're back. This Call of Duty is going to be a top 5 COD. You've got all these Call of Duty content creators. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them are absolutely like, shilling for the game, saying this, saying that. It's the same song and dance every single year. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are dishonest or all of them are this or all of them are that, but for the most part, it's the same song and dance every single year. And the ones that are promoting it like this, a lot of them are, it's simple. They're, it is what they do. It's part of their job and they're doing their job, and a lot of people buy into it. Simple as that. You're supporting, a game that, let's just say, does what it does. So, because of all the reasons that I mentioned in this video and as well as other videos, it's not really something that you can stop. So at this point, all you can do is brace for impact as best you can and hopefully survive, rebuild, and then go through the same song and dance year after year. But this time it's going to be a big one because it's Treyarch, and they've had a lot of time to make the game, but at the same time, don't forget, it's 2 games that they've been working on, not just this one. It's also going to be the next year's game, which is said to be a sequel to Black Ops 2. That so happens to be releasing in 2025. So there you go. But anyway, guys, in terms of this poll that I made that I talked earlier on in the video, do you disagree? Do you think that Black Ops 6 will ultimately kill XDefiant? Or do you think that XDefiant will survive? It'll slow down a bit during, the height of Black Ops 6, and then eventually it will crawl back and get momentum and continue to move forward. What do you think and why? I would really love to know down in the comments section. And as always, I like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.